Hi, I'm Richard Mullender. I'm an ex-hostage negotiator, and I'm here to talk to you about the importance of listening in negotiation. In hostage negotiation, the absolute key is listening. We have to listen to everything. We have to understand the person in front of us. We'll only do that by listening. We have to get clarity. We have to get understanding. And if we get understanding, then they will listen to us, because these people don't trust us. In the business world, it's exactly the same. If you're dealing with a client or a customer or someone you're in charge of, you've got to show that person that you care about them. And you've got to show that person that when you talk to them, you're talking about benefit to them and not to you. If you can't put forward your proposal in a way that appeals to the other person, you're not going to make the deal. So you've got to work that person out first. You'll only ever do that by listening. I think the big mistake that's made in business is that people don't really know what they want to get from a meeting. They kind of have an idea, but they're not really clear about their outcome. When I'm talking to someone on a bridge and I've got to get them off the bridge, I've got to get them off the bridge. I've not got to cure them. That's not my job. My outcome is to get them off the bridge. So I have a very, very clear outcome. So when I listen for information that I can turn into intelligence that will enable me to get my outcome. So my biggest tip for anyone is when you walk into that meeting, know exactly what you want to get from that meeting. And then listen for intelligence that's going to enable you to get your outcome. The dictionary definition of listening is hearing, and it's not listening at all. Listening is the identification, selection, and interpretation of keywords that turn information into intelligence. That's listening. Focus on the facts. So what are the actual facts? Focus on their emotions, how they're feeling about it. Focus on their values and beliefs, what do they stand for as people, and then focus on the benefits, where they see the benefit. And then finally, doing all of that, and this is why listening is so tough, you have to keep it like we're having a normal conversation. When you're operating in a meeting, an important meeting, when you're taking that important conversation, it's a switch on. You have to switch it on. So when you listen to somebody, you form an assumption or an assessment. What you need to do is to be able to check that out. And the tool you can use that is by using a thing called stating your impression. Rather than saying, you're angry, aren't you? Which is, I'm right, you're angry. You say, I get the impression that something I've just said has made you angry. Now, by using that, if you're right, they say, yeah, exactly. And it shows understanding. If you're wrong, they say, no, it's not that at all. I'm just frustrated. And all you need to do then is say, tell me about your frustration. So you clear it up. You get clarity about what the person actually means rather than what they're actually saying. We are terribly afraid of upsetting people. So we say nothing. By using I get the impression, you can say whatever you want. Once you get clarity, then you show understanding. And once you show understanding, then people start to trust you. The moment they start to trust you, they give you permission to take control. When someone persuades you to do something, you give away your control to that person. What you're saying to that person is, I trust you, I'm going to do what you've asked me to do. Trust is really important. I don't think people understand how important trust is. A door-to-door salesperson comes to your house door. Do you let them in? No. A plumber comes to your door to fix your bathroom. How far do you let them in? To the bathroom. A friend comes to your house. How far do you let them in? You let them in more or less downstairs, shall we say. Okay, right. So with your clients and your customers, where are you? How do they see you? If they see you as a friend, not your best friend, but if they see you as a person they can trust, as a friend, then everything about that relationship is easier. So think about your house of trust. Think about the people that you work with and you deal with and how they see you. And then think, how can I move from door-to-door salesperson to friend? Even talking to people in crisis or even talking to people in a hostage situation, once they get a feeling that you understand them, then they start to open up. And when they open up, it gives you an insight into their world. And once you get that insight into their world, then you can start to think of possible solutions that's going to match their needs and match your needs as well. When you come to doing the persuasion, what you're looking for are levers and solutions. Where you'll get those levers and solutions are by the questions that they ask you. They will ask you a question. By asking you that question, they're saying, this is my concern. This is what I'm worried about. I always write down every question I'm asked because it gives me the levers, or it shows me where there's a potential lever. The moment I get that potential lever, then I can start using it. And if I'm going to put forward a proposal, I'm going to propose it using those levers, or using the benefits that they see rather than the benefits that I see. When you look at a negotiation, don't see that the deal is everything. Sometimes we negotiate, and we have to negotiate over a period of time. So every negotiation you go into, there are 3 potential outcomes. The first one is to get the deal. It's great. If you get the deal, you get the deal. The second one is to buy some time. And this is sometimes when they come up to you with something from left field and you're not sure what to do, you need to buy time. One of the easiest ways of buying time is by saying, I need to speak to the board about that. It gives you some time to think about it. Go away and give yourself a think about it. So first one, get the deal. Second one, buy time. And the last one is gain intelligence. You'll always gain intelligence. You'll gain intelligence by the way they come at you. You'll gain intelligence by the questions they ask you. And if the only piece of intelligence you come away with it is that they're really good at this, it's intelligence. You cannot fail in a negotiation if you approach it from those 3 angles. One of the interesting things in my world is that we never allow the decision maker into the negotiation. We do the negotiation, the decision maker stays out of it. We are always doing what we're told by the decision maker, so we are controlled by the decision maker, but we never give access to the person, the hostage taker or whatever, to the decision maker. And the reason that is because the moment they've spoken to the decision maker, everyone else becomes superfluous. My one piece of advice, and I know it's difficult in business, is keep the decision maker out of the room. Let the negotiator negotiate. In business and in life, 2 key things are trust and likability. Do I trust you? Do I like you? If I trust you and I like you, it's easy to persuade me. If I don't trust you and I don't like you, I won't. Think about how you're going to present yourself to that person in order that you get them to like you. Think about the way you're going to speak. Think about the way you dress. If you're going to meet someone you don't know, do some preparation and planning. The amount of information that's available for you on open source, such as LinkedIn, etc., have a look at their profiles. Have a look at how they talk about themselves. Have a look at what they've written about themselves. It will give you an insight and it will give you a starting point. Because like any relationship, you've got to start with an opening line. If you're going to make a phone call to me, you can say something like, I've been reading all about you and you're interested in listening, and I'm fascinated by that fact, and I realise that I'm a really bad listener. So it's a slight piece of flattery. You show that you know a little bit about me, and we move it from there. Yeah. Before we finish, let me just put one point across to you. And please remember this. These are tools. They're tools that you build on you. You can't be me. I can't be you. You have to be natural. The more natural you are, the more natural you come across, the more at ease the other person feels. The more at ease the other person feels, the more they talk. The more they talk, the more secrets they give away. This is not about performing in a particular way. This is about you being you with these tools. So let's see what we talked about today. We've looked at listening. We now understand what listening really is. We've looked at the need to actually make assumptions. So we can make assumptions, but we need to find clarity. And once we get clarity, we get understanding. Once we build understanding, we build trust. Once we get trust, they give us control. Listening is the key to communication. If you do it well, you'll always have an edge.